So, when you're talking about the AFC South, there's really one team to really look at right now as like the top team of this division, and then you have three other teams that are kind of just going to be mid-tier, in my opinion. Of course, that team I'm talking about right now, as we're going to start with the AFC South tonight, is going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars, who went 9-8 last season. They barely squeaked by to the postseason. They made it to the divisional championship round, and then they lost to the Chiefs. But this team was actually looking somewhat decent last season. I mean, they were not like the best team in the road. I mean, they figured it out late in the season, and they took over Tennessee. But, like, I mean, they won a playoff game. And that's really all that matters for the Jacksonville Jaguars, especially a team that was looking the way that they were looking. So winning a playoff game and then moving on to the next round was, confidential for them. But we're here now. We have the Jaguars now in a different spot this season. They got better on the offensive side of the ball. They had Calvin Ridley to be the receiving core. I believe they also had Evan Ingram as well. I mean, they're adding pieces around Trevor Lawrence. And we're going to see if it works or if it doesn't work this season. And if Trevor Lawrence is going to have a great season this year for the Jaguars, they could be playoff bound again. On the defensive side of the ball for the Jaguars, they still have Josh Allen, who's on that line and completely a dominant force there. And you also have that sub linebacker in Trayvon Walker. I'm not really sold on the secondary of the Jaguars, but I mean, they get the job done. They're not the worst secondary in the NFL. They'll get something there. I mean, with Josh Allen on the line, if you get pressure onto the quarterback, it works really well. I believe they lost some players on the defensive line though from last season. I hope that they can actually still get the pressure they were getting last season. I mean, they were more of a mid-tier defense at most. But the Jaguars, in a division like the AFC South, you don't really need the best defenses, you know what I mean? That's the whole thing right now for the Jaguars. Let's head over to the scheduling and see who I've predicted them to win and lose at. Now, I'm going to say this real quickly. I think the AFC South has the benefit of having the most easiest schedule in the NFL this season. Of course, they face each other in a bad division. That's 6 games alone. We're having easy games there. But then you also have another 4 games, I should say, against the NFC South in another division that I think is going to be a low-tier division. It makes things a lot easier for teams like the Jaguars, Titans, Colts, just in general to win games. And that's why the Jaguars is kind of inflated here, but I have them going an average of 12-5, ceiling of 14-3, and a floor of 8-9. I have them beating the Colts week 1, losing to the Chiefs, beating the Texans, beating the Atlanta Falcons in a close contest, might I add, losing to Buffalo, beating the Colts once again, beating the Saints, beating the Steelers, losing to the 49ers, that's a tough game for them just alone, beating the Titans, beat the Texans again, lose to the Bengals in a close contest, beat the Browns, beat the Ravens, beat the Buccaneers, beat the Cardinals, and then losing against the Titans in Tennessee. That is my prediction for this Jaguar scheduling. So, final conclusion for the Jaguars. So, here is my opinion on the Jaguars this season. They're in a very easy scheduling. They have a very easy division. I don't see any reason why they cannot be the top team in the AFC South once again this season. The bigger problem might be the Titans. I don't think the Colts or Texans are really going to be too much of a contention, especially when they're starting rookie quarterback to start this season. The Titans might be a little bit of a problem, but I'm going to talk about the Titans next week. You guys are probably going to be surprised about what I rated them and what I actually predict for them. And there's a reason behind it, so I want to talk about the Titans myself, more in Klein. But for the I keep saying Texans. Why am I saying Texans? For the Jaguars, I think this is a team that's going to coast into the playoffs. They're going to maybe win a playoff game or 2 if they get lucky with the seedings. And yeah, I mean, I don't see the Jaguars really making it that far, but at the same time, they have a chance to surprise the world here, in my opinion. But don't be too surprised if they're the first team in the AFC just because of their schedule alone. If they can beat teams like the Chiefs, the Bills, or Bengals, they can actually have a serious contention to win the AFC this year. So yeah. And I'll say this as well, Doug Pearson is an excellent head coach. He's really turned this team around compared to the atrocities that Doug Marrone, or was it Doug Marrone? No, it was, oh God, what's his name? I keep thinking Doug Marrone because he was once the coach of them. Urban Meyer, sorry, that's who it was. He changed the complexity of this team. He changed everything around compared to what Urban Meyer has built and destroyed. So this Jaguar team looks a lot better this season, and I expect them to get better moving forward, but I just don't see the pieces aligning with them yet until maybe they built their offensive line. Their offensive line might be the weakest point of this offense. But once they get that situated, I think they're going to be a top team in the AFC moving forward for the rest of the years to come, especially if that man Trevor Lawrence under center. But yeah, guys, that's my prediction for the Texans. Yeah, for the Jaguars. You guys disagree with me? Put it in the comment section. But please like and subscribe to this channel as well. If you want to follow me on Twitch, go check out the Twitch link in the description below. And I'll see you guys next time for the Titans. Peace.